Good morning, everybody. Um, a couple of things on the personal level. The apartment I saw yesterday from the outside, and I posted the details. I am going to go and view it, but I've been thinking, and although it's more or less exactly what I want, and I would love to live there, um, it's going to be a bit of a jaunt over to see Alfie. Um, it's like 3 times the distance from where I live now. So, on that level, it might not be sensible of me. I have been looking at a couple of other places closer to home, um, in a district where we've always lived really, but the prices are quite high. Um, and I don't want to pay a high price because what I want to do is to sell this house at a nice little profit because we lost so much on the place we sold before. So sell it at a nice little profit, buy something cheaper, and once I've paid all the legal and removal costs and completely refurbished the house, put a little bit away in my bank, and had a holiday, I want to share the money between the children, put some in the bank for the grandchildren, and give my children a few thousand each if possible. So that's how I'm thinking, and I think that's would. Alfie's always been the sensible one, not so much me. Alfie's always been the practical one. I'm a bit of a dreamer and a little bit impulsive, and Alfie's always kept me grounded. So I've got nobody to keep me grounded now, unfortunately. Well, my kids do, to an extent. I know I'm a nightmare at times, I do know it. So at the moment, my way of thinking is I'm going to look at another couple of places. I do want to go and look inside that flat. Look at another place, couple of places closer that's, more sensible for me to move to. And I'm going to share them with you because I value opinions, and we'll go from there. I think I've decided to move anyway. It's too big, it's too costly. I don't need 4 flights of stairs, and I think I'll be happier with something more manageable. So that's my way of thinking at the moment. The other thing is the videos I put out. I'm aware at the moment that they're bitty and it's a lot of personal stuff, and it started out to be that, to share what's going on with Alfie, and I will be filming him more. I stopped because of all the nastiness that was going on my channel, and I wouldn't subject my husband to ridicule or abuse by some of those cretins who attacked me. And the people who started all the trouble are reaping what they've sown now, apparently. But there you go, that's another story for another channel, another day, not my business. So I do want to still carry on with what I intended to do, in addition to showing you a bit about where I live, sharing some of my beliefs, my own journey now, starting life, a woman of a certain age, on her own, knowing that she always will be. And, I don't want anybody else in my life, so I'm quite happy with that, but I'm aware of the challenges. So I want to share all that with you also. I'm thinking of getting a proper camera. I was thinking of a drone at one point, but I'm thinking of getting a proper camera to do some quality videos for you, and who knows, I may well get a drone, and we'll just see how things evolve, shall we? But I want to give you something of quality so that subscribers are going to be, oh, Anne's uploaded another video, and you're going to be happy to come to my channel, not to hear moans and groans and everything, but to see how we overcome, to see, yes, there'll be sorrows and pain along the way, but we overcome. We always do, with the help of our Creator and the help of the universe in general. Which brings me on to something else. A lot of you, unless you're in the UK or Europe, will not have heard of a man called Tommy Robinson. Tommy Robinson is a very vocal British man. Not his real name, but this is the name he goes by. And I admire him. You'll need to look him up, Tommy Robinson. He was arrested a few days ago. The standing is, he works as a journalist now, and he was outside a courtroom where the paedophile grooming gangs, 29 men, were to appear in court, and Tommy was there filming. They were abusive to him. He didn't retaliate. He was proper. He conducted himself in an appropriate manner. But he was arrested. He was arrested like a common criminal on trumped-up charges. Police weren't quite sure what they were arresting him for, if you watch the video. Bundled into a police van before a judge straight away and sentenced. This is unheard of, absolutely unheard of in the history of the UK, which is supposed to have a reputation for fairness. Fairness has gone out of the window. We're bending over backwards to accommodate the scum that prey on the children in this country, that rape 11-year-old girls, that ply them with alcohol and drugs, that drag them into shops and abuse them. And it's countrywide. It was going on in Rotherham for 4 decades, 40 years, known about by the police, known about by social services, and they did nothing. It's time to stand up. Britain is becoming a totalitarian state. We're getting worse than Russia. This man has been arrested because he dared report on the Muslim scumbags who did this to young girls. And it's countrywide, it's endemic, it's a plague across our country. So let me read you something that was said about Stalin, and you might draw a parallel with what's happening in the UK at the moment. Khrushchev said, Stalin often chose the... Excuse me. Excuse me. Stalin often chose the path of repression and physical annihilation, not only against actual enemies, but also against individuals who had not committed any crimes against the party or the Soviet government. And that's what's happening now. It's what's happening to Tommy Robinson at the moment. If they put this man in an open prison, you can say they've passed a death sentence on him, because the scum who are in there will most definitely take out revenge on Robinson. He'll be lucky if he gets away with his eyes poked out, but he'll probably have his throat slit like they do with the helmet. I'm absolutely sick of our culture being undermined by Islam. And before anybody says I don't know what I'm talking about, I do. I worked in Saudi Arabia for almost 2 years. I worked for a while in Riyadh and for a while in Dhahran, and I most certainly do know what I'm talking about. So, what's the way forward? Excuse me, I've got to have a good sip of this. Muslims going strictly by the Quran do not want to integrate with us. They don't want to. We are divided by differences, and those differences are unassailable and insurmountable. We have the Sikhs who've melded into our culture wonderfully. The Sikhs and the Hindus, Buddhists, Church of England, Roman Catholic, Christians, everybody. The only problem, and it follows them around from country to country to country, is the Muslims. I saw an interview the other day where an imam was being interviewed, and he was being asked by the interviewer about, you know, what they do to girls, the female genital mutilation and having sex with young children, and his reply was that Muhammad's bride, Aisha, when he married her, she was 6 years old. She was 9 years of age before he consummated the marriage, and therefore there's nothing wrong with it. News for you, there's a lot wrong with it, and I can tell you what's coming in this country. There's going to be a revolution, because it's gone too far now, too far. The police and the army need to stand side by side with the citizens of this country against the government, against the Pakistani Home Secretary who's Muslim, or the Lord Mayor, Sadiq Khan in London, who's Muslim. They need to stand side by side with us and say, no more. I'll be back later. Have a great day, everybody.